Good evening and welcome to the Gates Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. I'm Dave Skelton along with Charlie Martin, Charlie Washington. Charlie Martin, what is your middle name, Charlie? Anyway, we're here tonight to give you the GLVC conference basketball game between the IPFW Mastodons and the Bellarmine Knights. Bellarmine from down around Louisville, Kentucky. They're having a little bit of a down year this year, Charlie, but they picked up a new player here recently, so it could be a little bit of a difference coming into the second half of the season for them.
That's Pinnock, a Division I player from Michigan State, a transfer. But anytime you get a GLVC contest, it's going to be a dogfight. You got to throw out the records. 4-9 record for Bellarmine right now. Again, a down year, of course, for them. But when they come in here playing against the Dons, it's going to be a tough game.
And you're absolutely right in terms of the conference this year is one of those things that every night you've got to be ready to play. It doesn't matter too much what the opposing team's record has been.
Yeah, right now we're talking about the number one rated conference in Division II basketball. Right now 3 of the top 4 teams are out of the GLVC in the Great Lakes region, and 4 of those teams do go to the postseason tournament. Right now the Dons are 5th. A little bit behind St. Joseph, Southern Indiana, and Kentucky Wesleyan. But anything can happen. We had the 2 losses, that tough road trip, that southern road trip down to Wesleyan, Owensboro, and Southern Indiana down in Evansville. But anything can happen. You have to win the games that you're supposed to win, and the Dons have done a great job of doing that this year.
And we're within striking distance.
Sure.
We're in good shape. We'll be one of those 4 when the end of the season rolls around. We're about ready for the introductions of the 2 starting lineups for tonight. Bellarmine coming in with a relatively young squad this year, Charlie. They have 1 senior, and he doesn't play a lot.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things. Things kind of evolve years, 4 or 5 years. You know, the Dons had a down spell. Now the Mastodons are one of the top-rated teams, not only in the GLVC but in the nation.
Right.
For tonight's GLVC conference matchup between the visiting Bellarmine Knights and our own IPFW Mastodons. First, the starting lineup for the visiting Knights of Bellarmine College. At a guard, a 6'2" sophomore from Louisville, Kentucky, number 14, Andy Pinnock. At a guard, a 6'3" sophomore from Bardstown, Kentucky, number 15, Shannon Phillips. At a forward, a 6'4" junior from Louisville, Kentucky, number 21, Quinn Drake. At the other forward, a 6'5" sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 22, Dave Neighbor. And at center, a 6'6" freshman from Covington, Kentucky, number 24, Kevin Eilers. Head coach of the Bellarmine Knights is Joe Reibel. And now, for our IPFW Mastodons. At one guard, a 5'8" senior from Saginaw, Michigan, number 10, Andre Walton. At the other guard, a 5'9" sophomore from Hammond, Indiana, number 21, Russ Marcinek. At a forward, a 6'1" junior from Grand Rapids, Michigan, number 23, Scott Simmons. In the middle for the Mastodons, standing 6'8", a senior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 44, Dandy Doug Reinke. And at the other forward position, a 6'7" senior from Lanesville, Indiana, number 41, Sean Gibson. Head coach of the Mastodons is Andy Piazza. He's assisted by Dick Dumanian. And now if you'd please rise and join in singing as Kathy Dunwitty will grace us with her singing.
Negro College Fund.
What
comes to your mind when you think about statistics? Polls, gambling, maybe baseball. Sure, but how about lightning, lobsters, music, chocolate cake, sex discrimination, heart attacks, potato chips, traffic, the ozone layer, Shakespeare, monkeys, dancing, drug testing? If some of these things didn't make your list, then you should be watching public television's news statistics series, Against All Odds.
Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say.
The power of teaching.
World won't get no better if we're just
The power to wake up young minds. The power to wake up the world. Teachers have that power. Reach for the power. Teach. I'm Edward James Olmos, and we're recruiting new teachers. Call 1-800-45-TEACH.
Catch all the action of top-ranked men's volleyball this weekend at IPFW. Tickets available at all Ticketmaster locations or call 481-6643.
Tip-off time, Charlie, with a little bit different lineup for the Mastodons, a lineup that Coach Piazza went to last Saturday night at Ashland College and came up with a victory. A little more speed, a little more quickness.
Very small, a lot of experience out there, though. Two seniors, actually three seniors out there in Gibson, Ranke, and Walton, a junior in Simmons, and a sophomore in Marsnick, a Division I transfer out of Hammond Knoll in Indiana.
Well, the tip was a little bit hard to come by there by anybody, and finally Bellarmine up with the ball. And a three put up by Andy Pennick. And that's one of the things he'll do a lot of.
Transfer out of Michigan State.
IPFW moving the ball on the perimeter, looking for the outside. Sean Gibson takes a three, comes up a little short.
And Shannon Phillips with the board. He's probably their best athlete and best all-around player, Dave.
Shannon is up in the GLVC conference statistics in several categories. Marsnick playing the good defense. Sean Gibson that time came way out on Pennick.
Good help that time by Doug Ranke.
Yes. Now we'll see if we can't get a little more offensive movement by the Dons. Scott Simmons is good at the threes, but he comes up a little off the edge of the rim. But Andre Walton, as he's been doing a lot of, coming up with the rebound and putting it back in.
Very strong offensive rebounder for a 5'8" player. For a player of any size, he's a very good offensive rebounder. And if you saw him pass up the outside shot, that is not his forte, and he knows that.
And again, Pennick on the drive that time in the lane with a two. Yeah, Andre, our second leading rebounder on the IPFW Mastodons.
Grabbed 10 caroms on the last game against Ashland.
And that's a lot of rebounds even for a big guy.
Exactly.
IPFW moving the ball on the perimeter, looking on the inside. So far haven't been able to penetrate the defense. It's a man-for-man defense by the Bellarmine Knights. IPFW very patient, nice move inside. Sean Gibson drew the foul and almost had a three-point play coming his way. Sean's good at that.
Yeah, Sean's a very, very proven inside player. Earlier in his freshman and sophomore years, more of an offensive rebounder. Now he's a very proven post player. Always had the good moves. Now we're going to him a lot more.
And now that he goes up with the ball on the inside, he can reach back, draw the foul, and still get a shot off. Sean's first free throw is in the air and good. So IPFW draws within two. Bellarmine leading 5-3 after just a couple of minutes of play here in men's basketball, IPFW and Bellarmine College. Sean hits 2.
His eyes probably light up when he sees a relatively unproven freshman player, smaller and unproven player opposite.
And IPFW putting on the press. Looking outside, going inside, looking back. Good move inside, and there's Andre Walton with a rebound. Missed shot by Quinn Drake, and we get a quick turnover. And with a good pressure by Andre, he never gave up on that ball and forced the Knights to go to the in line. Substitution coming in for Bellarmine. Number 32, Brian Seifert.
To talk more about Andre Walton's ability to rebound the basketball, you would think on the offensive end it would hurt more with your point guard going to the offensive glass and you don't have someone back. But it hasn't worked out that way further down. It's worked out very well that he's such a good offensive rebounder.
Scott Simmons puts up a 3 that again falls just a tad short.
That was a great box out by the Bellarmine Knights that time. Anytime
yes,
the
it
ball
was.
can hit the rim and then hit the floor, good block out.
You've got the rebounders under control. And Dave Neighbor that time tried to go back with an offensive rebound and had it stripped away by Andre Walton. Nice feed inside. Sean Gibson to Doug Ranke. And IPFW takes their first lead of the night at 6-5.
That was a great pass. You still like to see Doug Ranke go up a little more stronger than that.
Yeah. Leave no doubt in anybody's mind that it's going to go in. Pinnick with another 3 opportunity. This time off the rim. Rebound by Sean Gibson. Something that he does a lot of.
In fact, he's way up there in the GLVC in a lot of categories. And surprisingly enough, he's the lowest in the rebounding area, where you'd expect him to be up higher than that. We just saw play Doug Ranke. Thought he got fouled and thought at least he would get the ball back. But apparently the refs thought different and thought the ball went off Doug.
Shannon Phillips that time got trapped down underneath, but there's a 3 from the corner by number 21, Quinn Drake. Quinn puts up a lot of 3s.
Scott Simmons going strong to the hole that time. Got fouled by number 22, Dave Neighbor.
Scotty has been really coming on in the last several ball games as a new to the IPFW system. Early part of the year, kind of getting used to how the things would go, the flow of the game, and now he's becoming a real good contributor.
That's not a smooth transition to make from totally different systems. Experienced player, he's a junior, but still from one system to the next, you have a transition that you have to make, and it's not as smooth as you may think for some players, and Scott's made that adjustment.
Absolutely. He misses the first free throw as he's shooting 2. And we have Andy Liebert into the IPFW lineup, giving Andre Walton a rest.
Something a few moments ago, and I hope our viewers haven't forgotten, for any young players out there, Dave Neighbor brought the ball down. He got an offensive rebound, but brought it down. Andre Walton stole the ball. Yeah. For any big man out there, you have to keep the ball up. Do not bring the ball down.
Good steal that time by Sean Gibson. Mastodons quickly down the floor. Draw it back out. Now looking around the perimeter. Inside to Doug Ranke. Doug goes up strong with another 2.
Great entry pass from the post that time.
Real good. Assist by Andy Liebert. And the pressure defense that time caused the Knights to be just a little hesitant, uncertain on the play, as number 10, Sean McGee, was handling the ball for the first time as he has come in for the Knights.
The Dons play very effective defense, pressure defense. Maybe not as quick as we see another steal over there and stolen right back.
Yeah, they didn't give up on it. Didn't hang their heads just because they'd lost the ball. And an inside pass. Nice pass by Sean Gibson, and the bucket by Scott Simmons. Yeah, sometimes the IPFW defense is nothing more than a nuisance defense, but it's enough of a nuisance that sooner or later it wears you down.
Exactly, and as deep of a team as they are, they can run 9-10 players right at you through the phase of the game, and that usually wears down teams that don't have as much depth.
Good hustle that time by Doug Ranke on the defense. Knocked the ball away. Andre Walton getting ready to check back in, and he gives Russ Martin a rest. Shane Gibson coming into the lineup.
Something that the Dons do very well, Dave, that may go undetected. They give up a lot of assists. They hand out a lot of assists.
That's
I should
right.
say.
They really
and
do.
That's a sign of a very good basketball
Excellent.
team. You look at the stats and see how many assists they have. That means they aren't going so much one-on-one. They're creating shots and helping each other get open.
Bellarmine just got a break by, they had 6 men on the floor, and they were able to sneak one off without any of the 3 officials catching it.
Good rebound by Andy Liebert.
And IPFW had good position that time. Andre pushing it up, looking for Doug. Had him there, but the Knights tipped it out of bounds. Dave Neighbor back into the lineup to give Shannon Phillips a rest. So Bellarmine shuffling their players in and out also, Charlie. Shane Gibson with a 3. We need that out of Shane. 14-8, IPFW in the lead.
I think that's now 8 straight games.
Number 25 also a new face into the lineup, and another turnover forced. The Knights are having turnover trouble here for a while.
Well, that's typical of a young basketball team, a young, more or less inexperienced team. And you're going to see some turnovers like that, turnovers that you should not see in a more seasoned IPFW basketball team.
Especially where there will be full court 40-minute pressure defense against them. Nice pass inside to Sean from Doug Gibson.
Again, that's another great assist by an IPFW player. In this case, post-to-post, Ranky to Gibson.
Nice block shot by Doug Ranky as he made Bobby Keeling have to pull up and miss the shot.
Andre Walton wisely pulls that basketball out. As you saw, he did not have an advantage over the Bellarmine Knights. Great block to start that break by Ranky.
And again, a nice inside feed. Ranky pulled the pass down and got body blocked by number 10, Sean McGee, a freshman out of Chicago, Illinois. And we have a timeout. Officials are concurring to see who called it. Bellarmine College. First timeout of the evening. And after about 6.5 minutes of play, we have a 16-8 lead for the Mastodons.
And right now they're playing very solid basketball. As we see that entry pass, maybe a little bit of a push-off to get open by Ranky. But nonetheless, he'll be going to the free throw line, trying to complete a pair of free throws.
The officials are now concurring underneath one of the baskets. Be interesting to have a mic on those guys sometime.
The College Cable Access Program Guide provides information about our programming, including IPFW sports telecasts. To receive your free Channel 6 program guide, send your name, address, and zip code to College Cable Access Center at IPFW, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805.
You did say free cable guide. All right. Well, we're back now as the teams break from their huddles. First time out in the game. Fairly fast-paced game, Charlie.
And again, that will be more to IPFW's liking.
They like to play it that way.
Yeah, and the better teams, again, and we'll talk a little more about how good this IPFW team is. The great teams can play either style. Sure, they have a preference, but when another team dictates the tempo, they can adjust and play to that style and usually excel at that also.
Ranky's first free throw is good. Yeah, and likewise, Charlie, I think when they're playing a team that's a little bit inexperienced, then they can make the tempo be the kind they like best.
Exactly.
Ranky misses the second. So he was 1 for 2. Bellarmine College on the attack. Ooh, he got away with the travel. And a Sean Gibson. Again, one of the categories that he's second in the conference with 2 blocks a night.
Exactly, and Sean and Doug Ranke have quite a battle going for the career lead in block shots at IPFW. Starting tonight, Sean was at 95 and Doug was at 91, and I think Sean's up tonight 2-1.
And Bellarmine College is beginning to look around anytime they're in close on to the basket and looking to see if there's an arm in a white shirt that's going to knock it down. Nice move that time by number 22, Dave Neighbor. Sophomore out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Andre Walton on the attack for the Mastodons. Again to Shane Gibson. Shane looks for Sean. Can't get there. Over to Andy Liebert. Doug Ranke setting a pick. Gibson to Gibson. To Gibson. And Shane hits his second 3. Maybe Shane comes in a little more relaxed off of the bench than he does when he's a starter.
He might do that, and I tell you, Dave, that was close to an NBA three-pointer right there.
Yes, it was.
He was out there.
Basket by Kevin Eilers. Big, good-looking freshman kid out of Covington, Kentucky.
And that was a good move right there.
Okay, as Bellarmine attempted to save that pass, it hit one of the supports behind the basket. So it's out of bounds underneath their own basket to the Mastodons. Shane Gibson getting the play called out.
Eilers looks like he's going to be a pretty good ball player before it's over, Dave. But tonight I think he's outmatched playing against veterans like Ranke and Gibson.
Shane's got the stroke.
Oh, what they're doing, Dave, is a basic zone play that the Dons ran last year against, I forget the team, but it was Dwayne Shears. Had 31 points. Basic play, you pick the baseline and you have a baseline runner, and if they don't guard it, you just hit shots all night.
Dave Neighbor that time came in again with bucket, I think, or Kevin Eilers, number 24.
That good-looking freshman.
Yes, he is.
As the ball swings, you'll see Gibson. You would have saw Gibson run the baseline as the ball reversed.
He had that one halfway down the rim, too, didn't he? 22-14, IPFW in the lead. Sean Gibson. Shane Gibson. Sean McGee. And Shannon Phillips. Lots of Sean's, Shannons, and Shane's here tonight. Quinn Drake from the top of the key. Misses the 3. Andre Walton on the attack. Quickly down the floor. Oh, nice move. Nice move. Defensively, you must keep your eye on Andre Walton.
That was cute. That's what we call cute.
That time, Ranke and Sean Gibson had Shannon Phillips surrounded. And the foul drawn on Doug Ranke. Into the lineup for the first time tonight, John Honstrider. John's been nursing a little bit of a leg ailment during the season, that more of an aggravation than it is a hindrance. But he sat out, I believe, played sparingly the last game.
Well, right now he's working on a 13 for 13 from the field streak right now. So he's not hurting too much.
That's right. That's right. Shannon Phillips hits the first free throw and attempts the second now, and it is also good. Near the midpoint of the first half. Mastodons on the attack. Scott Simmons also entered at that last timeout. Shane looking inside to John Honstrider. Andre goes in among the tall timber and shows him how to put it in.
Andre's looking good tonight.
He is giving the ball club what you like to have out of those seniors.
Exactly.
Lots of leadership, lots of spunk and pep, and always alert. Here he comes again. Shane inside, tried to go inside to John Honstrider, but John had the defense fairly well blocked off and drew the foul.
saved a turnover for Gibson that time by doing what you're supposed to do, pin that man on your back from the baseline side out. The entry pass wasn't all that great, but Hanstrider done a great job.
Rebound pass inside. Now we'll see. I think maybe that foul's on Shane Gibson.
Yeah, Sean kind of got his arms kind of locked up on that one.
That's the kind of shot he generally gets off.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those in between. You're very close, but yet far enough. But Sean kind of pulled the string and left it very short.
Bellarmine now the last couple of 3 times has opted to go with the long pass to beat that press down. It's still a nuisance for them. Nice move by Shannon Phillips, I'm sorry.
This is a very soft zone, Dave. They seem content with giving IPFW outside 3-point shots. And, of course, this team is very far up in the GLVC in field goal percentage from both inside that arc and outside. As we saw John Hanstrider get a nifty pass from Andre Walton.
And your description of the soft zone is exactly right, because Andre shouldn't be able to penetrate quite that well.
He's a bundle, but he shouldn't be that hard to take care of out there.
Looked like that time they might have missed a little over the back action. 28-20. 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. IPFW in the lead.
Andre Walton Davis come in this season and said, hey, this is my basketball team, and probably with some conferring with Coach Andy Piazza. This is his team this year, and he's running it very effectively.
Oh, nice pass that time. You're right. But Scotty Simmons and Sean Gibson out in the corner with a little 2-man passing game all of a sudden hit Andre going down the lane on a 3-point opportunity.
And he's playing extremely well this year. And what it's done, a young man that we see entering the game right now, Jeff Smithy, this has really cut his playing time down a lot. It's not really a resurgence. He played good basketball last year, but this year he's really taken control of this team. And last year they were more or less a 2-headed point guard, whereas you get the outside effectiveness from a Smithy and then the penetrating and the rebounding power, quickness from a Walton. But this year, Walton is just taking over this team.
Andre couldn't get the free throw to drop. IPFW got lost just a little bit on the defense that time.
And the pass wasn't too bad either.
No, it was a crisp pass.
Again, Simmons could have taken that shot. He's a good enough shooter, and they're giving him enough room. Again, the Bellarmine very content with just laying back and letting the Dons, take 3-point shots, and they're shooting close to 40% from out there. They could be in for a long night, a longer night than they've had so far.
Because Jeff Smithy will also pop it out there, and Scott Simmons missed his first couple. He's a little hesitant right now, but he'll get back into the flow. Like right there, that might be the one. Yep.
And what you have, Dave, there's a great sequence. Yeah, Simmons hit the shot, but you're talking about Marcinick penetrating, passing out to Smithy. Smithy hitting inside. The ball needs to touch the inside against the zone, and that was a great sequence right there for the Dons.
Practically everybody on the floor touched the ball during the sequence.
Exactly. I hope the viewers just don't give the credit to Simmons on that shot. All the players were contributors on that play. Great sequence by the Dons that time.
Foul that time was drawn by John Hanstrider. A lot of inside action. And it's not too unusual for John to draw a foul when there's a lot of inside action.
He gets his money's worth on his 5.
PFW playing a pretty sticky man-to-man defense at the moment.
Well, they've come known to be a very strong defensive team.
IPFW is getting beat a little bit on the boards. And then John that time came up with the rebound, but had nothing to do with it. Got his feet tangled just a little bit.
He might have had a little help from behind by Bellarmine Knight.
Yeah, a little help from his friend back there in a red shirt. IPFW appears to be at this time, Charlie, not wanting to give up that 3 points. They're going to make Bellarmine go inside. and work for that lane shot, that short jumper like they have right there. And again, Bellarmine actually has the bigger ball club on the floor at the moment.
Well, you just saw an example of it right there. The much larger neighbor just took advantage of Jeff Smithy's height deficiency.
Yeah, because he had no trouble getting the shot over. Again, Simmons and Reinke were going with the inside-outside passing. We neglected to mention a while ago that Hansreiter did get another field goal, so that extends his streak. And that time on that possession, Bellarmine camped number 21, Quinn Drake, out there in the three-point land, and he was all alone, and they finally got him the shot.
He set up camp, huh?
Yep. There's Smithy's first attempt for three. Looked pretty good on the way.
Right on target, just rattled in and rattled out. Phillips went down hard. We may have an injury.
And as they will typically do, the officials, looking to see how serious it might be, waited until Bellarmine had control of the ball to stop action.
There may be a wet spot out there. From the way it looked, how Phillips went down, could be a wet spot out there, or he could be wearing brand new shoes. Sometimes that'll happen to you.
Yeah, it almost looked like one of his feet caught on the floor, like you have turf shoes. And they're examining his left elbow or left ankle at the moment.
And that will hurt Bellarmine.
Yes, he's one of their mainstays.
And they're not that deep to begin with.
They've been using about 8 players tonight.
As we see trainer Mike Gale attending with the Bellarmine trainer to Shannon Phillips. We'll be right back for more GLVC basketball action right after these brief messages.
Tonight, Dolores had a few drinks, did some crack, and ended up another tragic story. Only she doesn't know it yet. Drugs make you forget. And if you forget how risky sex can be, you could catch the AIDS virus and not know it for months, even years. AIDS, another way drugs can kill.
Shannon Phillips was taken off. Looks like a sprained ankle that they're taping, and he may be back in action before it's over. Steal by Jeff Smithy, and here come the Mastodons. Inside to Doug Reinke. Back out to Scott Simmons. Inside, outside. Here we go. Inside from both sides of the floor. And a nice entry pass by Sean Gibson over to Doug Reinke.
Normally you tell players that pass will never get through. But at this level, and I'm very surprised it did get through.
Right across the baseline, wasn't it?
Another assist for the Dons.
Andy Pinnick with the ball out front, and he drew the foul from Russ Martinick. Couldn't get the shot to fall. Quite a change for Andy Pinnick from the green and white of the Spartans up there at East Michigan. There we see the trainer attending again to Shannon Phillips and his left ankle. Andy Pinnick will go to the line to shoot 2.
And some of your viewers, Dave, may be able to see what little difference there is in some cases between a Division I ball player and a Division II basketball player. You're talking about a lot of things, situations, type of publicity that they may have gotten in high school or junior college. And in many cases, there are not a lot of differences between going to one school versus another, even in a Division I, Division II setting.
Absolutely. Long pass that time attempted by Sean Gibson, and he did not catch number 10 napping at all. Rebound by Shane Gibson. Now we go to Andre, and Andre comes down.
That time Pennick may have shot a Division III shot.
Yeah, I believe he did. Andy Liebert took it 3 and missed, and Andre Walton with it out front with the new shot clock.
The Bellarmine coach complaining someone got pushed on that play, and I think he might be right.
Yeah, although it looked to me like Doug Ranke pushed Shane Gibson. And there we had a great entry pass by Andre Walton. Defense was caught sound asleep.
And 2 emphatic points by Mr. Gibson. Sean, that is. There I go, mixing them up.
Bellarmine moving the ball, trying to go inside. 32 muscling his way in and around. Brian Seifert, a junior out of Muncie, Indiana. Just down I-69 a little way.
75 minutes or so. Good move by Seifert. Good move.
Brian will go to the line.
It was after the shot.
After the shot.
Good move on the shot and then on the rebound.
So it's not a shooting foul. In fact, neither team. There we see Shannon Phillips with the ice on the ankle. So he may not be back tonight, Charlie.
Right now, it doesn't look like it as he has his foot on the stool.
Another block shot by Sean Gibson. And here we go with the ball out quickly. And Andy Pennick didn't even try. He knew he had no chance of coming up with a stop on Andre Walton. I think Andy was maybe a little bit put out with himself for not taking the shot when he was about 8 feet from the basket.
Walton playing extremely well. The Dons is the team playing very good basketball right now.
They're alert, and they're seeing the players, and those assists are there tonight again, Charlie. Bellarmine working the ball on the perimeter. Andy Pennick looking to go down the lane. Andy Liebert would appear like IPFW is in a little bit of a matchup zone here. That's man for man. Nice rebound by Andy Liebert.
As he fought off Sean Gibson over the back that time.
That's right. And he's probably used to doing that in practice a lot.
Yeah, high school also. High school practice.
There's another 3, and that one looked good all the way. Andy Liebert. So IPFW has extended that lead to just a little bit past the 10-point lead for the first time. 42-29.
And right now they're playing very well, Dave, on all cylinders.
And they're very alert on the defense. And when they get the ball, they push it up the floor in a hurry. Nice inside pass. Go up with it, Doug. He did and got no jump ball. Well, okay. Andre Walton drew the foul as Andy Pennick tried to get past him, and Andre we just wouldn't let him by.
Exactly. On that prior play, Dave, there probably should have been a jump ball, but what happened was the IPFW player probably assumed that there was going to be a jump ball, and then Bellarmine Knights just kept playing and got that ball away. You can't assume the referee's going to call a jump ball. Again, any young players or any older players even out there watching, you keep playing the game until you hear the whistle.
Another block shot by Sean Gibson. The Knights are going to begin to wonder whether they should even shoot inside there. And that's the name of the game. That time the move inside by number 25, Bobby Keeling, drew the foul rather than the block shot.
Freshman Casey Runyon seeing some action.
So the foul was drawn on Casey Runyon. I stand corrected rather than Sean Gibson.
Sean playing some tremendous defense, blocking shots, getting back on defense, stealing passes, playing good help side. So far, great night for the preseason All-American.
Bobby Keeling that time bounced both his free throws around. The first one didn't go in, the second one did. So here come the Mastodons. Minute 20 to play in the first half. Better get back outside with it, guys. Getting a little tight in there. And that's called staying with it until it gets it down.
That's why he's the career rebound leader and soon will be the career scoring leader.
Yeah. It was just great effort. And Sean had some help that time, but it was just great effort. They just didn't quit until it was coming down. Pennick with the ball outside. Andre Walton. And I'm not so sure that time that we got the right call, but I believe it's a rookie official in this league. But he decided to call the block on Sean Gibson.
And with the rookie official, you can't be too quick with the lip because they'll tee you.
That's right. Maybe he hasn't been around long enough to know who the stars are. And
yeah.
How you make those calls. Well, Bobby Keeling's having all kinds of trouble on the free throw line. And that time he thought he was going to have to eat the ball, and he had a nice move. Inside layup. We'll see if the Dons now decide to play the ball down from 22 seconds and go for one last shot. They have a 12-point lead, 44-32. So we're nearing the end of the first half. And they are going to play the clock down. It's time now they could make a move. Nice move by K.C. Runyon to put the two down, and with the good pressure defense, and don't let them get off a strange, crazy three, which they did. But it wasn't a real good shot. It was one of those that if it goes in, it's going to hit the highlight films.
Yeah, the Dons playing very well. The only thing, that last shot there, Runyon, good move. Could have taken a little more time. Maybe another pass outside, another pass inside. Then they only have 2 seconds to deal with instead of the 7. But again, great effort by the Dons this half.
And it was a nice move for a freshman kid to come in there and near the end of the half, knowing that you want to get it down. I suppose the last thing in the world he wanted to happen was the clock run out before he had a chance to get the shot off.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, we've had an exciting first half here as we have seen the Mastodons push their lead 46-32 here at halftime over the Bellarmine Knights. Bellarmine of Louisville, Kentucky. We see some Mighty Mites now out on the floor on our screen at this time with a little dribbling practice. The first half has wound down. A little bit of the inexperience of Bellarmine College showed. Some of the experience and expertise of the Mastodons came forth also. But it's pretty well played first half. Not a lot of fouls.
And it's good to see, Dave. It's good to see the Dons on this kind of an upswing. Again, it swings 4 to 5 years, and it's great to see us up on top now instead of looking up to the big guys. We're one of the big guys now.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the Dons have had a little bit of a layoff here in the last week and a half, have played only one game. But I think maybe that's been to their advantage. They've been able to regroup, catch their breath, and as they're probably doing here at halftime. So we'll be back at the start of the second half to bring you the action of IPFW men's basketball. Tonight they're playing the Bellarmine Knights.
Jobs. It's top priority with many Hoosiers today. Good jobs with good futures. That's what Ivy Tech in Fort Wayne specializes in, training good people for good jobs. The skilled jobs Indiana's future needs.
Ivy Tech, what Indiana needs to grow. Call for enrollment information.
For thy dowry, little value.
enjoyed it.
Quality education.
Courses are challenging.
There's really a good quality work here.
The campus in the fall, I think, is really nice. It's a nice place to sit out and relax, maybe during a lunch hour or any time after classes. There's a lot here that IPFW has to offer.
The professors really concentrate on helping you. They've enabled me to grow professionally.
If you're going to go in Indiana, this would be the place to go, and people just don't realize that because they think it's hometown.
Many of the professors here at IPFW have gained both national and international recognition through their teachings.
I know a lot of people say that if you go to a small campus that you won't be able to find a good job, but I've been interviewed with General Motors, and they chose myself and another girl from IPFW, and that gives me great confidence in this school.
Yes.
Welcome to the weather report. Skies are going to be clear. The temps are going to be nice. Let's take a look at tomorrow. We can see how the system moves.
And I think that what IPFW has to offer is really fantastic. We are very fortunate at IPFW to have a music therapy program. We have a career service area that finds employment for students, sometimes career-related while they're in school and after they graduate and after they become alumni. We have multicultural services, special services for African-American students, for Hispanic students. We have child care available. We have a Women and Returning Adult Center for our large returning adult student population.
I get to meet a lot of diverse people. I mean, coming to this lounge, I met you guys. I know everybody in this lounge. I could say Chinese, Japanese, Korean.
The Office of Multicultural Services provides personal counseling, academic counseling, and also cultural heritage programs primarily geared for African American students and Hispanic students, and also any other student on the IPFW campus who would like to take advantage of our services.
We have given over 26,000 degrees, and our alumni are literally all over the world in successful and important positions in business, industry.
Oh, good question. For example, can these two go together?
Now think about that argument, especially from our perspective today with our concern with the environment. Which is better?
We had some kind of patent infringement case. We thought somebody was infringing upon our patent.
Temperature, stagnation, temperature corresponding to critical value, you would determine the stagnation properties. In other words, what you are going to do, you are going to pretend that you decelerated the flow from whatever it was to this point.
I never gave you aught.
My honored lord.
Just take it in like this.
How do I care for this child? And that transition from what's taught in the classroom to what is actual reality of putting it into practice and the hands-on doing procedures.
Okay, how would I decide now, for example, how big a drop of water was?
The way it was conducted in the district court, they said, was a summary judgment. It left two unresolved issues of fact. What were those? Somebody tell me.
Would you check to see if there's any prerequisites for urban anthropology?
Okay, that's E380. The honors program offers courses for talented and motivated students who graduate in the upper 10% of their high school classes and have above average SAT scores. These are small enrollment classes taught by selected faculty members.
I had a favorite professor that was very knowledgeable. I know he knew a lot about his field, and it really helped me to understand through personal stories he had.
We try to know as many students as we possibly can by their first name and really develop long-term relationships over the 4 years that they are here and even beyond.
student that would be interested in attending IPFW would have a full range of companies to consider at the time of graduation.
Yeah, I just accepted a job in Denver, Colorado with one of the largest Big Six firms, a public accounting firm.
Recent recruiters here include IBM, Xerox.
The professors here really helped me through my interview process. I knew I wanted to relocate.
Not only the local companies are involved in recruiting the students, but companies throughout the United States.
Helped me land one of the most desired jobs in America.
I myself and many people I know also work while going to school.
Over 90% of our students are employed.
Although I live outside of Fort Wayne, it's still real close and convenient for me to come to school and then directly to work. It only takes me about approximately 15 minutes.
We also have co-op, and the co-op program is an alternating program whereby the student goes to school for a semester and then works for a semester. But the marvelous thing about it is that you are 80% guaranteed of employment upon graduation.
The Financial Aid Office at IPFW assists students in financing their educational expenses through a combination of scholarships, grants, educational loans, and student employment. These aid programs come from federal, state, institutional, and private resources.
I've been undecided about my major for a while now, but they really helped me a lot. Helped me to discover new careers and check into them, get ideas on them. I really appreciate that. They've really done a lot for me in that aspect.
I think IPFW is an exciting place to be. And it's exciting because we have such a wide variety of students. I think we have appeal for many students. We offer a quality education. Our student body ranges in age from 13 to 82. And we can offer quality and variety. Since 1964, more than 26,000 students have received Indiana or Purdue degrees on this campus. We are very proud of every one of them. The possibilities are endless. The opportunities are here for you. Will you come and look at the opportunities and explore the possibilities and become a part of Indiana Purdue at Fort Wayne?
Another way drugs can kill.
You may not think the gas you can save makes a difference, or the amount your whole neighborhood can save, or even your whole town. But when you see how much gas America can save every day, when we all drive just 5 miles per hour slower, it's easy to see how the little bit you can do makes a lot of difference. President Bush hopes you'll do your part. Drive smart.
What comes to your mind when you think about mathematics? Clowns, street sweepers, the Red Sox, robots, the weather, earthquakes, Disney World, pineapples, conventions, parking tickets, fishing? If these practical applications of contemporary mathematics didn't make your list, you should watch public television's math series For All Practical Purposes.
Welcome back to the Gates Sports Center at IPFW campus as we are at halftime of the Great Lakes Valley Conference matchup tonight, men's basketball, IPFW and Bellarmine College. It's the second game of the evening. Earlier this evening, Bellarmine's Lady Knights were able to come out away with a win over IPFW, 64-61, I believe the final score was there, Charlie. But we have the halftime stats for this men's game here this evening, and we see that IPFW is shooting very well, 19 for 29. Bellarmine not too awfully bad at 12 out of 28. Three-point land, IPFW 4 for 10. The Knights 3 for 7. Percentage-wise, the Knights have the edge, but I'll take the 4 baskets anytime. Free throws about the same, 5 for 7 for Bellarmine, 4 for 7 for IPFW. On assists, not too surprising. IPFW doing an excellent job, Charlie, with the 13 assists in terms of out of 19 baskets, 13 assists is just an excellent ratio.
And what you can do with that, with those stats, Dave, a lot of things, it's clear IPFW seems to be a much better basketball team. But look at the assist to turnover ratio. Right. IPFW 4 turnovers, 13 assists. And on the other hand, you have 5 assists for Bellarmine and 11 turnovers. Anytime you need at least a 2-to-1 ratio, and IPFW right now running at over a 3-to-1 pace right now, and you're not going to lose too many games with a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio.
A little bit surprising, but yet maybe not, that Bellarmine is out rebounding IPFW 16-11. But Bellarmine has had consistently a larger lineup on the floor. Well, IPFW quicker.
And they have a lot more chances to rebound. IPFW's not missing too many shots to rebound.
Well, we're about ready to start. Second half, we're a few seconds away. We'll see what lineups the coaches choose to come back with. They used a lot of players. IPFW probably used their standard 10 or 12 in that first half. Bellarmine pretty much limited to the 8 players that they had in the lineup during the course of the first half. Possession arrow will favor IPFW to start the second half. 46-32.
And again, Dave, we'll see that also important first 3 minutes of the second half, the first 3 minutes of the game, the last 3 minutes of the first half, first 3 minutes of the second half, and of course the last 3 minutes of the game itself are always very crucial if it's, of course, a close game.
Nice crowd here on a weeknight. Lousy weather outside.
Exactly.
Seems to have been the story of the winter so far. Saturday night we'll have Kentucky State coming in here, and Kentucky State has an excellent ball club.
Always very athletic. Right now, Dave, very important for the Dons to get off to a good start, because any good coach should have gave a pretty good pep talk in the locker room. So it's important that the Dons can negate any positive reinforcement that was given to the Knights by their coach.
And both teams open up with their starting lineups, the original lineups. Reinke with the ball way outside, maybe looking for a 3-point shot, do you suppose?
Now that's something you don't see very often, Dave, a 3-pointer by Andre Walton, and he's showing his whole repertoire tonight.
He's got the whole arsenal working for him tonight. Yeah, it's not as though he can't. He has a good 3-point shot. He just doesn't take it a lot.
And in bigger games, it's good that he's taking that tonight and in the future, because he'll need that in some bigger games for the Dons.
Nice move inside by Kevin Eilers. Big freshman out of Covington, Kentucky. Having a good, solid ball game here tonight. Andre on the attack again, looking to the perimeter. Looks inside. Over to Sean. Skip pass to Scotty Simmons. Andre penetrates, gets the move, and gets the foul. Pinnick is just not fast enough to keep up with Andre on the move.
And what's very deceiving, well, if you look at his upper body, is not that deceiving, but his strength, once he gets that shoulder down and he turns to corner, extremely tough to stop, even for a big man.
Second foul on Andy Pinnick. Andre's going to try another 3. That one not quite there. Doug Reinke with the rebound. Dishes off to Andre. Short pass over, and he's going to draw a foul. Scotty Simmons, I think, was so surprised that he was wide open, that close to the basket.
And that's one of those shots that's so easy. Do I bank it? Do I go straight in? And he got caught right in the middle. And on that missed shot, Dave, Andre Walton is now only 5 or 6. No, 6 for 7. He's in a shooting slump.
24, Kevin Eilers wants that ball inside because he's got Scotty Simmons, and Scotty's much smaller. Whoa, you talk about a hack. Okay, who called it?
It looked as if the Bellarmine player was going to get away with that, but he held on to the arm. If he had just grabbed it and let go, and the referee may not have caught it, but he held on to it.
You know, besides being obvious to the eye, I think I could hear that one too, and I've got a headset on. Andre Walton, again looking for the offensive moves by the IPFW Mastodons. Deep skip pass from Scott Simmons, and Scott hits Sean inside. Andre Walton inside to get the ball tied up for a jump ball. Alternate possession to the Knights.
And the Bellarmine Knight player had the basketball. Andre Walton just flew in, and with his strength and quickness, just grabbed that ball and caused a tie-up.
And Sean tips it away. Andre comes up with it. He'll go right to the hoop and draw the foul on Andy Pinnick. I think Andy's getting a little frustrated. He can't stop that guy. Says, where'd he go?
Walton got that steal that time, but Sean Gibson made the deflection. And they're running 2 and 3 in the league in steals also. So Sean assisting. Maybe it should be assist for the steal.
First free throw by Andre is nothing but net. Number 2 on its way, coming shortly. And number 2 is good.
Andre Walton looking mighty dandy out there.
Yes, he is. And this time a little bit different on the full court pressure. It's almost a straight man for man. Now there's a trap at the half court. 22 is going to pull up for a 3. Dave Neighbor. Andre decides, well, they don't want to pick me up about 15 feet away. I'll just put it in.
And Andre Walton, in the past, Dave, as the Bellarmine Knights call that timeout, in last year, his only year with the Dons, Walton would have looked to pass that basketball without even maybe thinking shot. This year, he looks to shoot and pass. We'll be right back with more GLVC basketball action right after these brief messages.
Catch all the action of top-ranked men's volleyball this weekend at IPFW. Tickets available at all Ticketmaster locations or call 481-6643.
Charlie, you mentioned the first 3 minutes or so of the second half being important. What do you see in these first 3 minutes, almost 3 minutes at this point in time?
I've seen what I want, what we need to see, Dave. IPFW coming out, taking control of this basketball game from the onset, because again, in halftime, you have coaches firing up their teams, and it's very important to not let these Bellarmine Knights gain some confidence. Very good that the Dons came in and took control of the basketball game, particularly Andre Walton, as a great senior point guard will do for you.
So Bellarmine inbounding the ball, or attempting to inbound the ball against the pressure defense. Kevin Eiler's a pretty impressive freshman. Dave Neighbor, a sophomore. Andy Pinnick, a sophomore. Brian Seifert, a junior for the Knights. And as we've said earlier, lots of underclassmen. Only one senior, and he doesn't play a lot for the Knights. Scotty Simmons with the rebound that time. Russ Martinick pulls up to shoot the 3. Couldn't get it to drop. He doesn't shoot it a lot either, but he's got the 3-point shot that's a good-looking shot.
Yeah, right now, he's really a point guard playing the 2-guard position with Andre Walton out there.
Nice rebound again by Scotty Simmons. And Russ took it on in. He had to go ahead and try to take that shot. If he gets it blocked, we still get the ball.
He got caught in between. Either he tried to go underneath, or he could have went high off the glass and got caught in between, and the Bellarmine player caught it all right. He could have went behind his back, or a drop pass for Walton that time coming down the lane.
Nice entry pass, real quick pass into Sean Gibson right underneath the basket. He gets the 2 and will go to the line for a possible 3-point play. Yeah, I think Russ decided not to jam the ball on his way down the floor that last time.
That time, again, another evidence that this young Bellarmine Knight team is just not ready for the more seasoned Mastodons. That pass should not get through at this level of basketball.
No,
that easy.
That's right. It was like a 4-foot pass.
Almost a handoff.
IPFW with good sticky defense, but they're going to get caught that time.
That may be one of the few times the Knights caught the Dons off guard, right? Pretty much they've been stifled all night. Haven't been able to do a thing with the Dons' sticky defense.
And the only senior in the Bellarmine lineup is now on the floor. David Kirby, number 20. Nice quick move by Sean Gibson and Scotty Simmons. And that time the pressure defense, being a nuisance, caused them to hurry a pass and throw it out of bounds.
We may see everybody tonight if this game keeps going like this.
Do you have some eligibility left, Charlie?
Well, my first 2 years, I didn't play very much, so I think I have a whole bunch left.
But eligibility might not be your primary concern, huh?
No.
Good hustle by Doug Ranke over on the side.
Our producer, Greg Smith, just reminded me I don't even get it on the first game at lunchtime.
You have to wait till the other guys get tired, and then you can go in and play.
I play on the side court, the JV court, we call it.
That time we saw a pressure foul by Andre Walton as he was putting lots of pressure on Andy Pennick, bringing the ball up the floor, and was called for a contact foul. Two substitutions coming in for the Mastodons. Andy Liebert, number 20, Shane Gibson, number 24, as Scott Gibson and Russ Martinick leave for a rest. And Bellarmine setting up an out-of-bounds play with absolutely no defense on them, so it really won't matter too much. Moving the ball around the perimeter, looking to the inside. Big fella took the outside shot. And Brian Seifert. The basket for the Knights that time. Doug Ranke looking on the move. Back out to Andre Walton. Back into Doug Ranke. Doug is coming across with the left-hand hook shot, and he drew the foul.
Pretty good defense up top, but got fouled down underneath.
Foul was on Brian Seifert, number 32, junior out of Muncie, Indiana, Yorktown High School. Doug Ranke will go to the line, shoot two. First one is perfect.
Ranke's playing good basketball tonight, Dave.
And Doug's a pretty good free throw shooter, too. Of late. He started out with some difficulty earlier, but gets the two. Shane Gibson with lots of pressure defense. Quinn Drake with the ball down the right side for the Knights. And I think it's pretty apparent, Charlie, the Bellarmine does miss number 15, Shannon Phillips, who sprained that ankle in the first half. Andy Pennick with his, I think, only his second three-point shot, a basket of the night. I think I heard Coach Dick Domanian saying that he will shoot it about 10 times a night and is hitting nearly 40%. Short jumper by Andy Liebert wouldn't fall.
He had to take a pretty long one that last time.
Yes, he did. Quick-paced game. IPFW pushes the ball up the floor very fast. Andre Walton underneath. He's going to try to take the big guy inside. What a move. What a move.
He's playing a great game tonight, not doing too much wrong.
And the 19-foot jumper, Kevin Eilers, as Bellarmine stays within 20 points. 13 and a half minutes to go here in the second half. Great Lakes Valley Conference basketball. Division II at its best, Charlie. Gibson to Gibson.
#1 rated conference in the nation in Division II basketball.
The move that time by Sean Gibson after a pass from his brother Shane drew the foul on number 32, Brian Seifert. Russ Martinick back into the game. Casey Runyon into the game. We won't see Pat Murphy tonight, very likely, Charlie, because of an injury. He's nursing along some tendonitis in a knee, and unless it was just absolutely necessary, he needs the rest on that knee for Saturday night.
And Pat's been playing very well as of late.
Yes, he has, as Sean hits the first free throw.
Season high 13 points in the last game for the 6'6" senior out of DeWinger High School here in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
And I heard him telling the coaches earlier this evening that he missed practice because of that injury Monday night, and it's his first missed practice in 4 years.
He's an Iron Man.
Not a very popular call.
Not a very good one either.
No, not a very good one. That ball was bouncing around like a pinball. There must have been at least 8 of the 10 players on the floor that had a chance to touch it somewhere along the line. Pinnick stops and pops that jumper for 2. Oh, there's the little wiggle that gets the shot up there that almost got it to fall. But Sean drew the foul again, this time on Kevin Eilers.
His show of frustration shows that he thinks that shot should have went in, and your good players thinks anything that they throw up there should go in.
That's right. He expects it to go in. He's not just throwing it up there. We may begin to see a little bit of a fatigue factor on the Bellarmine Knights because they've had to try to stay with these Mastodons up and down this court. First free throw by Sean Gibson, around and no good.
Sean in the top 5 players in the GLVC in free throw shooting at about a 76% clip. He took some private lessons this summer, I understand.
Is that right?
Yeah.
From anybody we know?
I think it was some fella having something to do with IU. Could have been his old buddy down at, could have been Pat Graham.
Yeah.
And there's something about a Steve Alford something or another, too.
But he did get the second one. So IPFW maintains that 20-point lead. IPFW back into the pressure defense, trapping in the half court.
Push foul on the freshman, Casey Runyon.
Looks like it's time to balance out those fouls a little bit because it was 7 on Bellarmine and 3 on IPFW.
Sure, the refs have to look good, too, to the GLVC commissioner referees. Why not?
That time, nice move inside. Number 21, Quinn Drake, good ball player. Took Russ Martinick inside, and there wasn't much Russ could do. He was on him. Played as good a defense as you could get. And a three-pointer by Sean Gibson. Sean doesn't get a lot of arch on that shot, but when he gets it dead center.
He's a good shooter from out there. In the past years, Sean's played a lot of that small forward slot, playing on the outside.
He has a good three-point shot, and as long as he's not beginning to get tired and has trouble having enough strength left to get that long shot up, he goes.
He'll do it all for you. 7 assists at halftime, taking on Andre Walton's role as a distributor.
And Andre was the leading rebounder. So
yeah, changing roles for a moment.
They changed shirts and people got the wrong idea who was doing what out there. Russ Martinick now running the point for IPFW, and there was a foul. 32. Brian Seifert got his 4th foul, I think, but he put Sean in orbit down around the baseline. So Sean Gibson will go to the line. shoot the 1-and-1.
Sean started slow. The GLVC leading score at close to 22 points a clip. Shooting for points 11 and 12 right now.
And the big freshman, Kevin Eilers, coming back into the lineup.
Just to give you a rundown of what Mr. Gibson's doing this year, Dave. He's first in the GLVC in scoring, first in the GLVC in field goal percentage, second in block shots, third in steals, fourth in free throw percentage, and a stat you probably would think he'd be a little higher, sixth in rebounding. But there are a lot of people that wouldn't mind being sixth in the GLVC in rebounding.
And he does all those things in his spare time because he's also a pretty good student.
Thank you. And that's what it's all about.
Good pressure defense again by the Mastodons. Just causing Bellarmine to not be able to get into any kind of rhythm at all in their offense.
And that, of course, causes a young team to panic and throw up shots like we just saw.
Like we just saw. On a one-on-one move without a pick or a screen. Russ Martinick with the ball. Inside it to Casey Runyon. Nice move by Casey. He went aggressively to the basket.
Got away with the veteran hook that time. Got the benefit of the doubt. And I was just going to say that translate, Dave, into that 5 assist, 11 turnover ratio that the Bellarmine Knights had at halftime. And they're continuing at that rate in the second half.
First free throw by Casey, no good. Rattles around and jumps out. So Bellarmine with the ball. Sean McGee over to Quinn Drake. Quinn looking for Sean again.
Don's playing a little matchup zone right now.
And that time, number 25, Bobby Keeling, got caught for a kind of major push-off.
Yeah.
As he attempted to set a screen.
Sean took a pretty good lick, but you can also tell he's, among his other classes, he's been to the Bill Lambier Flop School.
I think I remember the same two numbers. Red 25, white 41, similar play first half. Call went the other way.
Exactly. And as a savvy senior would do, he'll learn from that.
And that's right. Get there first the next time. Sean will go to the line for 1-and-1. Well, now wait. They're 10 fouls, so we are at a 2-shot foul, I would think. Yes, it will be.
The new rule instituted a couple of years ago.
11 minutes to go in the game, and IPFW is going to be shooting 2 free throws every time there's a foul on the Knights. Sean misses the first.
Don's not shooting very well from the charity stripe tonight. Only 57% at halftime, and not adding anything positive to that this second half.
It's been about the same, I would think. Sean hits the second. But the lead just keeps stretching out. IPFW now in the 24-point lead, 69-45. Just under 11 minutes to go. And good pressure defense. And that time they caught the open man. Bobby Keeling underneath the basket.
And you're going to give some of those baskets up when you're pressuring, and surprisingly the Dons are giving up very few easy buckets. But you'll think when you're pressuring like that, you're going to give up a few easy baskets.
Right. Coach Joe Reibel of the Bellarmine Knights not too happy that time. He thought the official had made the other call, and that he may have made the other call, or have motioned the other call, but he got it right.
That's what a frustrated coach would do, Dave. Probably looking for a technical foul. No, maybe looking for 2 so we can get out of here before the lights go out.
Yeah, when you're down 24, 11 minutes yet to play, you're 4-9 for the season, 1-5 in the conference. That time the defense squeezed in on Andre and shut him off. Couldn't get the dribble down the lane, and so travel violation.
In addition to him taking a counter punch to the lip.
Yes. Joe Reibel still jawing with the official, the one that we think is probably a rookie here in the GLVC. And Joe may be asking for a technical here pretty shortly.
Well, what the referee can't do, as we just saw, Dave, I don't know if the viewers saw, the referee got engaged in a verbal altercation. Yeah, and not even watching the game.
Dropped his whistle.
And a veteran coach will do that.
That's right. He knows he's got a rookie, so he's working on it. Inside pass from Marcinek to Reinke. Marcinek goes down the lane this time. Nice move. Couldn't get the shot to fall. That's a good shot for him to take. And Andre Walton just there enough on the defense to make Sean McGee alter his shot, and he missed the layup.
Sometimes it's all it takes, a little swipe, a little step in. As we see Coach Rival right there, experiencing a very tough year. A year like this will add about 8 years to your life.
That's right. And Joe's a longtime coach there at Bellarmine.
Has had some very good teams.
He's been there 22 years, 300 and some victories. So he's seen a lot of balls bounce up and down the floor.
He's had some very good players come out of there.
Yes, he has. He had one of the best in the conference last year, and a young man by the name of Sir France.
Was looked at by some NBA prospect as an NBA prospect. Don't think he quite made it, but he's probably somewhere playing for a little money right now.
CBA or maybe in Europe.
Somewhere Sean Gibson may be in a few more months if he so desires.
That's right. That time on a move by Sean to the basket, he drew the foul from number 22, Dave Neighbor. Dave's a sophomore out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Again, a good-looking young ball player for the Knights. So they may have to suffer this year a little bit. But they'll come on.
Maybe it's time for Sean to go back and get a few more lessons from his old buddy.
Yes. Coach Joe Rival is working another official now, and Sean misses them both. He's not too happy with that. Andy Pennick with the ball. Sean near steal. But the jumper hits by Kevin Eilers. So that 24-point lead now down to 18. Now we have a quick 2-on-2, and Andre moves right past him. Too fast for Kevin Eilers. Kevin says, where'd he go? I didn't even know I hit him. Andre with a great bucket will go to the line for a three-point opportunity.
He's just so strong and quick and has a nose for the basket, and right there, you just can't do very much about that. You have to stop him before he gets that full head of steam going. Channel 6 is now accepting the application for underwriting the televising of IPFW sporting events and other programs. For more information about how your business or organization can utilize this opportunity, please call the Channel 6 office during business hours at 481-6582.
We're back at the Gates Sports Center. We see on our screen, I believe that's the mother and girlfriend of one of the Gibson twins. Gibson brothers. Nice shot of the student crowd here at IPFW with one of the cheerleaders getting a little enthusiasm. Hooping and hollering is what it's all about.
The Fight Caps at their best.
Here we see the huddle of the Mastodons. Somebody we don't get to mention too much there, but Luch, the student manager there on the far right of the screen, does a tremendous job. He's a senior also, so they've got senior leadership at their student manager as well as their ball players on the floor.
Well, something interesting, he came to the program with Doug Ranke out of Concordia High School, and I believe served as a manager at Concordia on Doug's senior high school team, which did very well, I think, to the semi-state in Doug's senior year.
That's not too bad.
Not bad at all.
Andre Walton steps to the line. Andre trying to complete a three-point play. And it's short. Everything's falling short. I think we've missed, what, maybe 4 or 5 free throws in a row now?
Not shooting very well from the stripe. You got to get those, and that's maybe concentration in a game like this. They may not be as important.
And that time we saw a little shoving match. Number 24, Kevin Eilers, big freshman for the Bellarmine Knights, drew the foul and will sit down. Number 5 for Kevin.
That one may have been for real, Dave. I don't think
so.
I don't think Sean was acting on that one.
He doesn't go to the floor that easily, no. And back into the lineup will be number 25, Bobby Keeling, junior out of Louisville, Kentucky. The officials tonight are Mike Mattox, Norm Nelson, Chris Gepper, 3 that I don't remember seeing a lot in the GLVC.
I can't recall.
I think they're a new crew at least, and a couple of them may have worked some of the games at previous times. But it looks like we'll be seeing them on a regular rotation of some sort in the GLVC. Sean hits a free throw, gets us off of that string of misses. Steps up and looks for number 2. And got only one. Andre nearly had another rebound. Andy Pinnick quickly down the floor for the Knights. Wanted a shot badly, but the pressure was too much. He couldn't get it off, and then the pass was overthrown out of bounds.
The Knights, when they've had mismatches, maybe once or twice they've taken good advantage of a Russ Marcinick or maybe a Jeff Smithy, but for the most part, they can't even seek out and find their mismatches and take advantage of them. That's how stifled this Mastodon defense has the Knights.
Jeff Smithy, great pass over to Doug Ranke, and the basket's good. And number 25, who just came into the lineup, Bobby Keeling, drew another foul.
And that time, Doug Ranke, Dave, took one drop step and went strong to the basket. It may not have been a dunk, but that's how strong you have to go to the basket. Sure, you like to see him dunk the basketball, but that's progress, him going strong to the bucket.
There was no hesitation.
And also a great pass. He's the beneficiary of a good pass.
And Doug drops in the free throw for the three-point opportunity. Jeff Smithy into the lineup now with the Mastodons. Long three-pointer off of the glass by number 32, Brian Seibert. Doug Ranke couldn't. Jeff Smithy, coming in from out of bounds, knew he couldn't grab it, so he let it go.
If he steps in very quickly, establishes himself in bounds, he can do that. But he got caught in between mentally and just, well, I'm too late now.
And he didn't have much balance either. Foul called that time on Jeff, and he had the hand in back. Number 21, Quinn Drake. Jeff Panic looking for the three, gets it blocked. Andre Walton on the drive with the Mastodons off to Jeff Smithy from the corner. No on the three, a little bit short. Oh, behind the pass. Andy Pinnick looks like frustration's setting in for him just a little bit. Well, that time, number 21, Quinn Drake, did not get cheated on his foul.
And Sean Gibson, as he very often does, was slammed to the floor by an opposing player. Good ball movement. Again, another example of the unselfish play of the Mastodons, why they are a very good basketball team and a strong contender, definitely for postseason play this year.
Sean hits the first free throw, stretches the lead out to 25. 76-51, Mastodons in the lead with 7 minutes and 16 seconds to play here tonight. Scott Simmons replaces Shane Gibson. Sean at the line for free throw number 2. He needs to hit 2 in a row. Couldn't do it.
And Andre Walton again right there for the rebound. Didn't get it, but that's why he's a relentless rebounder, because he goes after every ball.
You know, in addition to the other things he's done tonight, he's been a thorn in the side of Andy Pinnick defensively. And Jeff tries that right side three again and gets this one to fall.
And that's good to see Smithy hit that shot. Of the Dons players tonight, Smithy has clearly struggled the most, so it's good to see him get a jumper off and nail it.
Yeah, and when a guy misses one before and you come back and get the same opportunity, you like to see him take it. It'll fall, as it did. Knights on the move, and they're having to keep most everything outside, even though they're a little bit bigger lineup on the floor.
Even when they get easy shots, like a few moments ago, number 25, Keeling, had a very easy shot. He threw it below the rim.
And that time you saw Jeff Smithy defensively pick the pocket of number 21, Quinn Drake, and then a great pass to Sean Gibson. And all of a sudden that leads at 30. Nice jumper by Brian Seibert. Sean Gibson with the ball, quickly down to Scott Simmons. Scotty with a little short jumper inside, and he hits.
That was very effective use of a crossover behind the back dribble. Not for showing, not for showboat, just an effective move to get free of your defender.
And Andre Walton on Andy Pinnock. Again, the long jumper, not there. Andre rebound, pulls the ball. Andre rebound. Yeah, maybe that's right. Andre Walton with the rebound. And there's the big slammer.
Exclamation point.
Yes.
Doug Ranke brings down the house. Great pass, though. Great leave pass on the break.
And this crowd really loved it.
And that's rewarding the big fella for running the lane.
That's right. And there goes a number 25 with the slam dunk. Bobby Keeling.
That's making up for the shot that he threw under the basket a few moments ago.
That's right. Andre slowly bringing the ball down this time as PFW sets up their offense inside to Sean Gibson. And he draws the blocking foul this time.
And Sean Gibson, surprisingly, is on the floor.
That time it looked like somebody had nailed his shoes to the floor and pushed his body, and he just went down like a big sequoia tree. Some fresh legs into the lineup for IPFW. Casey Runyon back in. Russ Martinek.
And Gibson, via the free throw line, is gaining on his GLVC leading scoring average.
After missing a few earlier, he now has hit, I think, his last 3. Goes for 2 at this setting. And he hits. Andy Pinnock with the ball. This time he has Russ Martinek on the defense, and Russ is also a very, very quick young man, and he causes Pinnock to lose the ball on a jump ball, but yet alternate possession goes to the Knights.
There's an example. A few moments ago, I explained how Scott Simmons got free of a defender effectively with the behind-the-back dribble. That time, Pinnock did not have an advantage and just was going behind his back, was not making an advantage.
Quinn Drake drew the three-pointer from the corner.
And I'm sure Pinnock will try to make up for that.
Russ Martinek drew the foul. We are not in the 1-and-1 yet from the Mastodon standpoint. 5th foul on IPFW. Martinek drew his 2nd, team 6th in this half.
And part of the reason, Dave, excuse me there, part of the reason the Dons are not in a penalty yet is because Bellarmine's just been throwing up shots.
Right. And that time, Quinn Drake, who's been playing a pretty good ball game, couldn't get free. Frustration shove and drew a foul. Offensive foul, so it'll not be shooting as Russ Martinek sets up the offense for the Dons. Russ looking inside for Casey Runyon. Out to the corner, Sean Gibson. Off to Casey Runyon, who puts it in strongly.
There wasn't too much more Sean can do with that ball as he lost his balance. Just kind of tossed it behind his back because he felt Runyon would be or should even be there.
Long Pointer by Andy Pennick. I think I'd be tempted to give him that shot too. It was out there about the middle of the IP of that logo on the floor.
Reminiscent of Eric Vaughn.
Yeah. Nice pass inside. Basket by Sean McGee. Tom Patterson into the lineup for IPFW now for the first time this evening. Tom recouping from an injury earlier in the season. Young man from Toledo, Ohio. Play is getting a little sloppy at this point.
Yeah, Sean Gibson trying to play the one position that he's probably not that effective at, and that being point guard on the floor. The other 4 positions, I'd feel pretty comfortable with him out there.
Right. Scott Simmons made a nice move with the basket that time. Drew the foul on Quinn Drake. But Scott able to get the shot off. Had a 3-point opportunity. He'll go to the line for 2. And into the lineup tonight for the first time for the Mastodons, number 25, Chad North. And as we said, we'll not see Pat Murphy tonight. He could have played had it been necessary. Scott Simmons hits the first of 2 free throws and get opportunity number 2.
Scott's played a good basketball game, coming on very strong the last 4 or 5 basketball games, averaging right around 10 points a game. And as we see Tony Martin.
And Tony into the ball game for the first time tonight. Again, he's coming off of an early season injury that had kept him out of game action until last week.
And this is Tony's first action in the Gates Center in a long time.
That's right.
Well, his first action ever in the Gates Center.
I guess you're right. That's right. Because he last played in the multi-purpose building, didn't he? Andy Pennick's going to inbound the ball for Bellarmine underneath their own basket. Quinn Drake, a likely recipient. Senior David Kirby also in the lineup.
Tony's had some bad luck. Had a season-ending injury in preseason last year. And then this year, very early in the season, if not preseason, sustained a hand injury.
And I stand corrected. It was not an out-of-bounds play. Rather, it's free throws for the Bellarmine Knights. Bobby Keeler was perfect on the first shot and will get opportunity number 2. Nice arch, nice shot. He hits 2 in a row. Jeff Smithy with the ball for the Dons. Tony Martin looking to the left corner. Inside to Chad North. Chad, a little lefty there. Casey Runyon puts the ball back up and in. Nice move by Casey. He was surrounded by 3 red shirts.
Casey's a pretty good-looking low post player, and what he has to attribute that to, he has I don't know what you want to call it. He's big in the middle.
And it's been kind of nice that Casey, as a freshman, has been able to come along with to see our big guys that are the seniors.
Exactly.
And he can spell them and get his playing time. And he's done a nice job. He'll
learn a lot every day at 1:30.
That's right.
In practice going against the likes of Sean Gibson and Doug Ranke.
First free throw is good by Andy Pennick. Andy's going to end up with a bucket full of free throws here tonight, or points, I should say. Finally, he's had some tough luck. Misses the second. Jeff Smithy dishes off to Tony Martin. Tony with the bucket underneath. Well, we're approaching the 2-minute mark. IPFW, 95-66 leader. Played a pretty solid ball game tonight, Charlie.
Yeah, very solid.
In all phases of the game.
It's just about one question left. Will they get 100? Will they break that century mark? It's about the only suspense left here. And, of course, who our dandy-don player of the game will be.
Well, I think we'll be able to come up with one of those before the contest is over. Oh, beautiful steal. Tony Martin. So there's going to be 2 of the ones you needed. Quinn Drake hit another three-pointer for the Knights. As we're winding down now, we're inside the last minute and a half. Casey Runyon missed the short jumper. Chad North couldn't quite come up with the rebound. Quinn Drake's fouled by Tom Patterson before the shot.
A lot of people, David, play some very solid basketball games. Scott Simmons, very solid play.
Yes,
Doug Ranke, very solid play. The big man, Sean Gibson, a great basketball game. But from the outset of this game until he left a few minutes ago, Andre Walton set the tone, set the tempo for this team, made the big plays, some very good moves, and he has my vote for the Dandy Don player of the game.
I'll go along with that very much so.
Our producer, Greg Smits, does not have a say-so tonight, and we concur on our Dandy Don player of the game.
He can vote if he wants to, but it's already 2-0.
Oh, he just says he was his pick anyway. It's very hard tonight to go against Andre Walton with the type of basketball game that he had tonight, Dave.
And Charlie, you can almost go right up and down the entire IPFW lineup tonight. Everybody made a nice contribution. Probably won't be a lot of scoring out of Russ Martin's neck, but Russ played a good, solid ball game. Defensively, we were really tough. And I think we just had a technical foul called against Andy Pennick.
You don't see that very often, the young man that's on the free throw line getting a technical.
Well, you can almost see Andy's feelings being worn on his shirt there the last half of this second half tonight. He's been frustrated. He's a good ball player. He'll just have to adjust to the fact that it's not East Lansing.
Sure, yeah, it's not. And exactly, and you just said what he's going to have to adjust to. Again, not the Michigan State Spartans, and maybe come to the realization, yeah, he may be a little better than some of the ball players on his team, but he has to blend in, and if he's that much better, make his other players rise up to his level.
Right. And I guess it doesn't matter to me too much what the sport is. The good player will be seen as a good player by what he does, and he doesn't have to say anything.
Exactly.
I think Andy had to just correct them. They were about to give him a second free throw, and he had hit the basket, so that was the completion of a three-point opportunity. Now, Chad North will shoot the two free throws on the technical. Chad hits the first one. If you can't tell at home, we'll re-emphasize it for you. Chad's a very popular young man here at the IPFW campus. He doesn't get all the playing time in the world, but they love him.
And that's a great gesture by Coach Andy Piazza. You have a much better free throw shooter in Jeff Smithy on the court, but just to get North into the scoring column, put him on the free throw line. Great gesture by Coach Piazza. At least I think that's what he was doing.
From what I understand from the coaches, too, the young man has an excellent work ethic. He is a hard worker in practice. Short jumper by Casey Runyon would not fall. We're inside a minute to go. Nice move down the lane. Quinn Drake with another 2 points.
Nifty athletic move.
Tommy Patterson. Casey Runyon. Tony Martin with a three. Well, that answers your question on the century mark, Charlie.
Drake playing well.
Tony's come in here and gotten himself a half a dozen points or so, and a long three-pointer by Tom Patterson. Rebounded, picked off by Tony. Tony tries another three. No good. And we're winding down. The buzzer sounds. The IPFW Mastodons have won a big conference ball game here tonight, coming back home after having been on the road for 2 solid weeks.
Big in the sense that this is the first home game since that double loss down in southern Indiana and Kentucky Wesleyan. We've had 2 wins since then, but again, first time home, we don't let those 2 losses get us down, and great to come back in here and grab control of the reins all over again.
That's right, because they're right in the thick of things here with the conference championship. We're not quite halfway through the first round, not over yet, with I think what, 3 more ball games to go, and IPFW very, very strong output here tonight.
And these are the games that sometimes were tough. In the past, these have been very tough games for the Mastodons. The games that you're supposed to win sometimes are the tougher games. It's easy to get up for a Kentucky Wesleyan or a Southern Indiana, but a Bellarmine that's been down, that you expected to win, it's not always that easy to get up for it. But we'll take a break right now. When we come back, we'll be down on the floor with our dandy down player of the game, Andre Walton.
Everyone makes mistakes, Matthew. Don't pay any attention to the other children.
For this bright 6-year-old, the ABCs have never been as simple as ABC. Where do you go when you're different from the other kids? He got help at a Center for Learning Disabilities. They got help from the United Way. All because the United Way got help from you. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
Bonjour.
French in Action, opening a new era in language learning. A television course in 52 lessons centers around a wonderful romantic comedy filmed entirely on location in France. The story of Mireille, Robert, Marie-Laure, and the mysterious man in black will help you to learn, to understand,
Excusez-moi,
and to speak French. Watch French in Action.
The man, and dog.
For years, this man thought if he just tried hard enough, he could teach himself to read. Where do you go when you can't do it alone? He's getting help in a literacy program for adults. They got help from the United Way. All because the United Way got help from you. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
Where to?
Body shop, 71st and 1st.
Yeah, no use. Love your commercials. Safety belts, right?
That's where you're going, man.
I tell her, missus, she loves you guys. She doesn't buckle up either.
Nobody's listening.
You need anybody? Listen, Odie drivers part-time. Really inactive. It's just a little slow life. Just put seatbelts in my cab. Nobody uses them. Guess they feel safe with me.
If we'd had half a brain, we'd have buckled up. Hey, bumper breath, I do have half a brain.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Catch all the action of top-ranked men's volleyball this weekend at IPFW. Tickets available at all Ticketmaster locations.
Back at the Gates Sports Center at IPFW campus, where the Mastodons tonight, men's basketball, have defeated the Bellarmine Knights 102-75. And we go down to the floor. We will go down to the floor shortly with Charles Washington, with the dandy don of the game, who is Andre Walton. We at IPFW are pleased to be able to bring you cablecasts of NCAA athletic competition. We hope you've enjoyed the show and the excitement of the intercollegiate sports from IPFW. To provide such programs, we need your support. With the help of many volunteers, we are able to produce these programs at a relatively low cost. Your contribution will help defray the production costs not covered by Channel 6 budgets. The Cable College Access Center invites you to invest in quality college programming by sending your contribution to the College Cable Access Center at IPFW, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, with a zip code of 46805-1499. And now down to the floor with the Dandy Don of the game and Charles Washington.
Good evening. Charles Washington here tonight with our Dandy Don player of the game, Andre Walton. Andre, great game tonight. A lot of assists, a lot of rebounds. Probably one of the better rebounding guards I've ever seen play. What's the secret?
I guess it's just a lot of them don't expect me to go to the boards, you know. With my heart, you know, I just go in there and try to battle with the big guys. I just like doing it.
What about tonight? You guys got off to a quick start. What were you thinking coming into this basketball game?
One thing, I just want to get off to a quick start, get it over with so I can go home.
Well, Andre, we're not going to hold you up too much. You got Wesleyan and Southern Indiana. You losses to those teams coming here. How do you feel about those two teams coming in here a few weeks down the line?
Well, those two teams coming here, I mean, we'll be playing real good by the time they come in. As long as we have enough fans to cheer us on, we'll be successful.
Well, again, Andre, I want to wish you the best of luck. Congratulations tonight on a great basketball game. A bundle of points, a lot of rebounds, a bunch of assists. Sean Gibson may have got you on assist tonight. He had 7 at halftime, but great game, steals. Oh, great overall game. Good luck the rest of the way.
Well, Sean picked up from my assist, and I picked up from his scoring, so it just balanced off.
Thank you.
Well, we'd like to thank the Channel 6 volunteer crew and the Learning Resource Center at IPFW for their contributions to the live production of our basketball games this evening. The telecast of this IPFW sporting event is copyrighted and the sole property of the College Cable Access Center and IPFW. Unauthorized copying, exhibition, retransmission, rebroadcast, or other use of this event without expressed written consent is strictly prohibited. And lastly, we ask that you don't forget to tune in to Channel 6 Saturday evening when the IPFW Mastodons will be playing again in the GLVC conference. Kentucky State will be in. And Friday evening, tomorrow evening, 7:30, we ask you to join us for the IPFW volleyball, men's volleyball against the University of Milwaukee, Wisconsin Panthers. And now for Charles Washington, this is Dave Skelton saying goodbye and thank you for being with us this evening.
Catch all the action of top-ranked men's volleyball this weekend at IPFW. Tickets available at all Ticketmaster locations or call 481-6643.